we talk about Frank first of all, then your thoughts on bringing him into the club. Why was he an option for you?
You know what's funny? This when I done the playoff games, I seen his attitude and application of what he'd done. So we've known about Frank for a long time, playing against him and what he is. He's a real threat and a handful, and scores goals. But when he got told he was getting released from Colchester to play through that, the mentality he's shown and not bravery, but the attitude and application was different class. I remember sitting there with Joby McAnuff talking about him. I said, quite like him. He's gone up in my estimation. Always liked him as a player. Listen, come across him a few times. A nice lad, lovely lad, in fact. And it just pushed me over the edge with it. So we knew when he was available. We knew when we could get to speak to him. We spoke to him and his agent. Rob was different class in the deal. Frank obviously turned down other clubs to come to us. And it's a cliche, that, isn't it? Because you say, oh, he's turned down a club. He generally did. He generally was going to a club, another League One club I won't name, but he said, no, I want to come and play for Argyle. He knew what we're about. He knew how we play. He's going to get a chance to play up front, not on the left wing or the right wing. And we felt he gives us something different. Yeah, he's a big lad, powerful striker. People will say, oh, is he really my type of player? Yeah, he is, because he's just as important with his feet as he is with his strength and his head and abilities and everything else. So it was a no-brainer once we'd got to speak to him and his agent, and he said he wanted to come. It was a no-brainer to get it done because he gives us a different dimension.
Yeah, you've got strikers that fit all sorts of bills then, haven't you? So whatever the circumstances in the game, you've got an alternative, haven't you? Yeah,
listen, we had that last year with Ryan Taylor. Ryan was a bit different, you know. He was more of an hold-up target man, where Frank's can hold the ball up. He can run in behind. He's got a few skills inside the 6-yard box, or 18-yard box. He can chop and go one way and go another. He can use both feet. You know, he is a quality player, and he's still only 28. So we feel that, you know, we can get the best out of him, and we certainly will. We'll coach that. As I say, he's had some clubs. He's played for some good football clubs, and he's here now at Argyle, and we're pleased to have him.
Looking at your squad, it looks like goalkeeper-wise and striker-wise, you're fairly well set, but maybe defensive and midfield you might want to add to. Can you give us an idea on your thoughts about?
Listen, in the striking department as well, we're still not. You know, if something pops up, well, I feel I want to do, I'll do it, because there's no better place to have 4 or 5. Listen, we've got youngsters in and around as well. You know, that'll take it up. But listen, I'm happy with 4. If I had the choice to get another one, I'd certainly do it. It has to be the right one. Is there some out there? Yeah, certainly, because again, you just don't know with injuries and stuff, and we've got to make sure that we've got the firepower. Yeah, you know, in the defence department, I think, you know, we've got Will Aimson, who we feel is going to be like a new signing for us. So I think we're okay there. Midfield, yeah, we're progressing well. We're in talks with a midfielder now, and hopefully get something done in the next few days. And we'll just keep adding along the way. We're certainly not finished in the transfer market. We know what we want, we know what we need, but we've got to be patient.
Can you tell us anything about the midfield that you're in talks with?
No, not yet. No.
Are you hopeful on that one though?
Yeah. We've basically agreed a deal, so but again, we can't. We've just got to wait until he's here and signed and sealed, delivered, and we'll pass it on. But no, he's an exciting prospect. He's a good player. He's got real ability, so he'll add another notch up into the midfield, and then we can progress where we need to progress, whether it's defence, whether it's wing backs, whether it's another striker. But we've got our targets, and we're going about our business quite shrewdly, and it's working.
Good. You said to us when we saw you last week that you'd have a trialist left in back in this week.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
Can you tell us who that is?
I think you know who it is, don't you?
Is it Lewis Payne?
Yes. There you go. No, Lewis is
a goal against Argyle a couple of years ago.
Yeah, listen, he's been fantastic. He's obviously, you know, spoke to his agent, and he had a good recommendation from, you know, Johnny Jackson at Charlton, a good friend of mine, Johnny, who's on my course with me. And again, you know, the lad's been suffered with injuries, but you know, I felt that's a side we're obviously looking for, and it's well documented. And you know, Lewis has come in, he's with us this week, and then he'll play some part on Saturday, and then we'll have a chat with him. But again, look, he's had a tough 2 years. And look, I was never one for injuries. I was always all right. Chewy had a bad ACL injury and whatnot, and you know, it's not a nice thing to have. I think he's had an hamstring injury and a hip injury. But I feel that, you know, a quality player like him can certainly get back to full fitness. He's still only 24, is he? Yeah, 24. So again, you know, we felt we'll get him in, have a look at him. He's done fantastic. He's done all the pre-season so far. He's been here, not missed a day. We'll have a look at him in the game, and then we'll take it from there. But again, you know, sometimes you have to get these type of lads in and see what they're like and see what the fitness like. But he's been different class, the boy, so long may that continue.
Has he mentioned to you that goal he scored for Chelsea?
No.
Absolute scream.
What is it?
Yeah, up at the Valley. So
was it at the Valley?
Yeah.
I might have seen it. Yeah, we had some clips done on him, and I think I might have seen it.
Yeah.
But Argyle in a green and white kit then. A white kit.
Like a lime green.
I can't remember what kit. We were 2-0 down in about 11 minutes, and he got one.
Did he? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think I did see it.
You said he might play some part in the game on Saturday.
He will,
against Plymouth Parkway. You know, how's that come about, and how are you looking forward to playing the first game in 22 weeks?
Yeah, listen, looking forward to it. You know, we're talking to staff, and I think the players are chomping at the bit as well to have a little bit of competitive edge. And you know, Parkway will certainly give us that. Listen, I'm gutted for Parkway and the Taverstocks and Truru's and whatnot, because you know, we would have generated them a lot of money. And look, when I come down here and I spoke to Lee, and obviously, you know, we spoke with Watto at Truru, and then, you know, Stuart Taverstock. I'd said I'll help any non-league teams out to generate them some money, because when the Green Army come in the numbers, and you know, it's great for them because it pays half of the budget. So I'm a bit gutted that it's not at Parkway. A bit gutted we can't go to Truru, a bit gutted we can't go to Taverstock, because it makes the money. But ultimately, we've given Parkway the opportunity to come across here and, you know, play on home park and theatre the Greens, as they'd be quite happy that, you know, some of them may never got the opportunity to do that. And we felt it was only right, with my relationship with Lee and our relationship as a football club with Parkway, that's going to strengthen even more, that we've done stuff like that, because I think it's important. So we're looking forward to it. Listen, it'll be a tough test, because we'll probably play 2 45s, and there'll be a lot of kids in and around, as well as first team players. So we're just chomping at the bit to get to a competitive football match, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be nice, won't it? Parkway have got lots of ex-Argyle youngsters in their team anyway, so
yeah.
I'm sure they'll have added motivation to come back to home park and try and do well.
Yeah, and the thing is, with them, Chris, is they're a good group. I remember when we first went down last season, I didn't know nothing about them. Didn't know what the teams was, and then I got sold a few of them. A little cracky who plays in midfield, the captain, and he's a little tough one, but he's a lovely bloke. Because, you know, he's a diamond of a kid. So, you know, they're not here to hurt our players, and we're certainly not here to hurt their players. We're here to give them what some of them might not get, and that's a play at home park. And we're here to give them a pre-season, what they probably look forward to all pre-season. And we're really looking forward to, you know, they're well respected. They respect us, we respect them. And I know there'll be no crazy, stupid challenges going on. Whereas when I first come down, I didn't know what to expect. But again, when we played them that game over at their place, it was excellent.
It'll be your first taste of playing a game with no fans inside home park. That won't be so pleasurable an experience.
No, I'm not looking forward to that, to be honest. Listen, it is what it is, and it's not going to be the same. You know, it's not going to be. Well, it's certainly not, is it, when there's no fans there? I know it's pre-season, and listen, we've played loads of games. Well, I have, as a player, behind closed doors, training games against opposition teams, and you know, possibly the same as that. Well, it will be the same. But for us, we want the fans back as quick as we possibly can. But it's out of our hands, isn't it? It's up to the government. So we'll just get on with it. We'll keep cracking on. We'll keep getting the lads fit. We'll keep planning. We'll keep making signs to make us better. And hopefully in the near future, the fans are back with us as soon as possible.
Neil Warnock's bringing Middlesbrough down for pre-season trip. Is it correct that you'll be playing Middlesbrough in a couple of games here?
Yeah, well, I've spoke to Neil. I've spoke to him quite a bit, actually. He is coming down, yeah. I think, in all honesty, I think we're supposed to be on the QT. To be honest, I don't think Neil wanted any big spectacular thing, and we didn't. We, you know, because it's behind closed doors anyway. I think obviously it's worded that he's going to train at Liscard, and you know, yeah, I've spoken with Neil quite a bit. So we've offered them some. The training pitches whenever they need them, and we will do something with them. Yeah, but it's not. How to put it? Yeah, we will do something with them. It's not, you know, confirmed as what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. But I've said to Neil, look, what's ours is yours. You come down, bring the lads down. If you want the top training pitch, you win the bottom, or you want the bottom at the top, we're fine to do that. We just need to be careful that, you know, not all kinds turning up and whatnot. So we'll try and do it. Well, we can't now because it's out in the press, innit? But we'll try and do it quietly as possible for them more than us. You know, think it's to respect Middlesbrough. They're coming down here, they want a bit of peace and quiet. They don't want to be bombarded. So whatever Neil wants, we'll help him out with.
That's the tricky situation at the moment, isn't it? That you're going to play pre-season games, but you don't want people to turn up to them. It's such an unusual situation.
Well,
isn't it?
yeah. Listen, one thing we don't want is people turning up and gatherings and whatnot. And look, we can't stop them doing that. Ultimately, the games we want to play behind closed doors will be behind closed doors because they can't come in, which we don't want. But again, that's just the way it is, isn't it?
Ryan, with the signings that you're looking at, I mean, is it a case of trying to get your own signings in first and then looking? I know you've got Ryan and Hardy, but looking at loans afterwards, or does it really not matter necessarily?
We actually wanted the loans after all, to be honest with you. The loans were supposed to be the last.
Yeah.
But obviously with Ryan, we tried to do a permanent deal with Ryan, but we couldn't quite get there because of the situation. So Ryan's the first loan. We've got Luke and Frank, and then we'll look. This one's going to be a permanent sign, and the loans can sort of wait till the back end. As I said, phases, stages. We're probably going to use stage 3 or 4 or 4, whatever it may be, as the loans, because we're in touch with the players, parent clubs, and they're saying you're all fire because some of them are finished now and off for a couple of weeks, and we've got agreements in place for the loan lads, so that'll be the last port of call. We want to get signings made first.
Sure. I think we're about 5 weeks away from the start of the season, just over. Do you have a target? I want everybody in by a certain date, or is that not quite so important?
We were discussing that last night actually. Me and Shuey, when we sort of want the squad to, because there's going to be players that come in who might not have played our style of football and our shape, and we need to coach it into them and make sure they know and they understand the roles and responsibilities. So yeah, we'll look, listen, but again, that's out of our hands in it all. I think the main thing is make sure we get our targets, and at the moment, touch wood, we're getting our targets. I don't see no reason we cannot get them all, but the quicker we get them in, the better. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ryan.
Just leading on from that, you just said about the players coming in, they may not play your style of football. What sort of order do you look at players in? Is it skill, teamwork, positional sense?
There's loads. First and foremost, you look at the qualities they've got, and we look at that. Can we turn them into a left wing back, for argument's sake, or a right wing back? Can we work with them and put the work in what we want? Yeah, of course you can. You can do that with most lads, even at the tender old age of 32 or 33. People know, Gaz Sawyer never played left-sided centre half in his life, and it was terrific for us last season. Scott Wooten never played the same. Niall Cannon never played in the middle. So that's why I said about getting them in and us putting into them what we want, and them understanding the roles and responsibilities. I think what we look for in players, they've got to suit our style in terms of our coaching philosophies, the football club, what they want, being a good lad, and can they adapt, and have they been there before, have they had promotions, have they played 300-400 league games, are they going to be the next best thing? Well, they're all the things we look at. We don't just look at, oh yeah, he's a good player. There's tons of stuff we look at, tons of data, tons of games, analysing games. It goes on forever. But okay. You have to.
Lovely, thank you.
With Frank coming in, he's obviously sort of super experienced. He's played for a billion clubs. Does he sort of have a responsibility to help someone like Luke, who's a young striker, sort of help him along? Yeah, listen, he will. I'm sure he will. Dom's the same, and Ryan Hardy's still only 23. So Frank's only 28. Yeah, again, he's had probably, I forget how many clubs it was now. I didn't just see the coach 2 pages on it when we looked them up. But in terms of the help, yeah, listen, they'll help each other. I always make sure that my strikers have got a nice little bond together, because, as I said last season with Alex Palmer and Michael Cooper, they pushed each other to be the best, and I want my strikers to do the same. Whoever's starting, the other 2 behind, they've got to push them all the way, because if they're not producing, they're ready to step in, and they will get the opportunity, whoever that may be. So I think they'll help each other out. Frank's experience in terms of his leadership qualities will probably come into play at some point yet, certainly, because, as you say, he's played for so many clubs and got so many games under his belt. But I think they'll all help each other along the way. And with sort of coronavirus, obviously every business has been hit financially. Do you have to be a little bit more cautious when you do recruit players now, or is it business as usual?
Cautious, well, listen, everyone needs feeding, don't they? Everyone needs to be paid, so, you know, we have a thing where, you know, we always pay our way, whether it's agent fees. We don't want anyone to go without, because if someone's bringing a good player to us, you know, they feel they need to be paid for it, but we have had to come to some agreements, and, you know, it's a bit bartering type, isn't it, you know what I mean, and you're speaking to them and saying, look, I can do this and incentivise this, and I think I've just been a bit clever in terms of how I go about this, so yeah, look, there's not XYZ there, but you can get to XYZ incentives, and you know what, to be fair to the lads who we've signed at the moment, even the lads who we re-signed, they've all bought into it, because I always say, well, you know, you go and play 10 games on the bounce, well, you could get an incentive on that, and that's the way I've worked it, which we've had to. Some people have said, yeah, but what about this, what about that, and I've said, well, that's a negative approach. Don't do a negative approach, we do positive approaches. If you play 10 games, this can happen, or if you score 5 goals, that can happen. So everything's incentivised, along with our structure and our wages, we always have it. So we've been quite good in that department where it's working. And to be fair to the agents who we've dealt with have been on board with it as well and said, okay, look, I get it, you know, there's not millions of pounds out there to pay, but as long as we get something for the players who they've brought to us, and we're happy to do that.
And finally, do you have a perfect squad size number, or are you happy to be flexible with that?
Yeah, I'll be flexible, because I think this year we're going to have a lot of youngsters in the round. You know, we've got 3 academy graduates now with us, and they've been different class, so I know now, with them being with us for a week, I can call upon them any time. That's let alone with Lawsy, Lolos, Randall, who's still with us, but he's just going into that senior category, if you like, Randall, at the moment. So yeah, I think, you know, the players who we've got, if it's 25, it's 25, if it's 22, it's 22. And you know what, there could potentially be 1 or 2 that move out along the way. A couple of youngsters may go out on loan. Keith Jolly's ringing you there, you can talk later. May go out on loan as well, and then you might get some lads who come and say, Gaffer, I'm nowhere near, I'm not going to be playing, and they might come to me and say, look, you know, is there any chance I can go and play some games? Then fine, we won't stand in anyone's way. What I do want is a good competitive squad that I feel that'll be can compete in League One.
Ryan, is Ryan Hardy still up country?
Yeah, his missus is, well, dated today. Yeah, she's due any day now. I spoke to him yesterday. But to be fair to him, he's been training with Blackpool, so
yeah,
to be fair to Blackpool, they've let us, they've let Ryan continue saying, look, he's their player, he's their asset, we've just borrowed him. So fair play to them. And he's doing all his work up there, because his missus can go any time. I don't want him being all the way down here 5 or 6 hours when he gets a phone call. And, you know, I don't want to miss the birthday of first child. So yeah, he's still doing what he's doing. We're in contact with him every day, and John's in contact with him. Fitness stuff he's doing, so we're quite cool and calm, relaxed on that.
So apart from him, everyone in your squad available for Saturday?
Yeah, maybe Frank won't play a part yet, we'll have to see, because he's done a couple of days running with
that's okay.
He's done a couple of days running with John, so again, we've got to be cautious. We don't want to just throw Frank in at the deep end, whether it's a 10-15 minutes, we'd rather leave it. So maybe other than Frank and Ryan, then yeah,